With all the drama unfolding in dear motherland Kenya, this is the perfect time to do a State of the Nation video, because this State of the Nation analysis will be able to give us a bird's eye view, which will be able to reveal crazy things which may be difficult to see down here in the heat of the moment and during the day-to-day exchanges between both sides of the political divide. And regulars on this channel will know that we usually use the simple illustration of sending a drone up there, which is able to see ahead of the road we're traveling on. The truth is, whether you see it or not, whether you're aware or not, kimeumana kuumana. And that is why, as we're traveling along this road, we notice motorists coming from where we're going are flashing lights at us. Yeah? Some of them have broken windscreens. And so we decide to park our vehicle on the side of the road and send the drone up there to find out what is happening. And if I were to illustrate this to you, tell it to you in black and white, we send the drone up there, it reaches the spot on the road, yeah, about a kilometer down the road, and there is serious trouble. It is so serious that the pictures stop coming. Somebody has shot our drone down. That's how serious it is. Now I can hear somebody saying, Chris, you like exaggerating things. There is nothing like that. Okay, let me explain myself. Anthony Kimani Ichungwa, majority leader, UDA man, yeah, very close to the deputy president, said something very controversial not too long ago. He said that if the demonstrations of Azimio continue, yeah, demonstrations that are destroying people's property, then what will happen is that even those he accuses of financing the protests, the Azimio protests, will also feel the same pain as those who lose their property or have their property damaged, allegedly, as a result of Azimio protests. And he singled out former President Uhuru Kenyatta. In fact, in that speech, widely available online, indeed that speech is almost going viral as I speak, it is easy to see it as a direct threat to the former president. And then on Monday, actually, former President Uhuru Kenyatta felt the pain when unknown people invaded his farm, cut down trees, and took away livestock. Actually over 1,400 sheep. Okay? Now it is very difficult, even in a court of law, not to link those two events. Anthony Kimani Ichungwa's speech, yeah, warning the former president, and what eventually happened on Monday. But of course the leader of the majority in the National Assembly is very strongly defending himself and is telling us there is no link, absolutely no link. Now, many of you listening into this are going to find my analysis on this situation very different from everything else you've heard so far. Okay? And let me start by reminding us that it is very important never to underestimate the other side. It is very easy to make jokes about the other side. When you see them do something that looks like a mistake, that one is easy. However, write down history. It is not a good idea. It has never been a good idea. A man called Goliath, when faced with a young boy called David, started making fun of the Israelites, who were terrified of him. He mocked them. This young boy carrying stones and sticks is all that Israel can send to me? I'm paraphrasing. However, moments after that joke, Goliath was dead. Now it is very easy to make jokes about Kenya Kwanza, and even the leading lights within Kenya Kwanza. Honorable Anthony Kimani Ichungwa, for instance, does not like revealing his age. It's very difficult to find his age listed anywhere. I guess it's not good for his image and what he does for UDA. However, we know that he joined the University of Nairobi in 1996. Now what that means is that when founding father of the nation, the late Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, passed on, Honorable Ichungwa would not have been more than 2 years old. He was less than 2 years old. Okay? So when he talks about Kenyatta family properties, he is relying very heavily on what he has been told and what he has read. Okay? And of course, not everything you read and not everything you're told is the absolute truth. And even if it is, there are some very significant factors behind many things which happened in the 70s. Information which many may not have. And at that time when Jomo passed on, and Ichungwa was less than 2 years old, former President Uhuru Kenyatta was about 17 years old, almost an adult. And at that time, I remember, I was lining up outside State House to view the body of Jomo Kenyatta. Yeah, I was home from school holidays. I believe I was in Form 1. And my political lectures had already started. So I guess I knew more than most of my age mates. Although at that time, I could not figure out how it was going to help me. Yeah, because I was not interested in Kenyan politics. I hated Kenyan politics. And so my point is, it's easy to make fun of the UDA crowd. However, I want to introduce to you a possibility, that I believe is the reality for you to consider. And I'll start by asking a question. Whoever carried out the raid on the Kenyatta farm, which by the way does not belong to Uhuru, it belongs to the widow of Jomo Kenyatta, Mama Ngina Kenyatta. Whoever carried out that raid, were they completely unsuccessful in their political objectives? Were they 80% successful, 50%, 10%? You tell me. In my opinion, they were over 90% successful. If you're in a game of soccer, if you're in a war, it is fatal to underestimate your opponents, even if they've made silly mistakes in the past. Of course, the narrative we can see immediately is the one introduced to us by Honorable Ichungwa not too long ago, that if businessmen in the CBD and other areas where there are protests suffer losses because they don't get business that day, their property is damaged, then it is only fair that those behind the protests causing the pain in the CBD and other areas to business people also suffer some loss. That's the narrative. However, that narrative is very faulty, because the truth is, and of course UDA will never accept this, because it will not fit their convenience. The truth is, it is the people of Kenya who are protesting, not individuals. And the fact that so many people are turning up for these protests should tell you that very clearly and conclusively. Anyway, my point, that is the narrative that somebody can see immediately. However, actions have consequences. What do you think large property owners in Kenya today are feeling right at this moment? Can you hazard a guess? There is fear all over the country. And to make it worse, if this could happen to a former president, somebody so powerful and connected with the networks, then what about an ordinary Kenyan? What about a Kenyan who Kenyans have never heard of, but has property, has large tracts of land? What will happen to such an individual? You can be sure that after what happened on Monday, things in Kenya can never be the same again. That one you can be very, very sure of, okay? But then, what is all this leading us to? It is leading us into a very chaotic country. A country that could easily slide into a situation where it is ungovernable. Now, what do governments do when a country becomes ungovernable? Those who are with me know the answer to that question. And that is where we're headed to. That is the state of the nation called Kenya. Because just put yourselves in the shoes of UDA and William Samoei Ruto. You would want to remain in power at all costs. Do everything in your power and even beyond to remain in power. But the situation is as it is. So what do? Definitely, you will do something. You will not just sit and wait for the inevitable. I can tell you for sure, the biggest horror story for the UDA gang is the threat by some Azimio people that they will raid the residence of the President of the Republic of Kenya, State House, like has happened in other countries. And so even if it was you, what would you do? The very sensitive answer is in my latest weekly intelligence briefings, number 103, which was released earlier today. My apologies, there was a delay due to very unavoidable circumstances. Okay, trust me on that. But it is now finally out. And all the answers are there. Moto kuliko pasi ya makaa. Moto kuliko pasi mbili, 10 ya makaa. And because of the delay, the offer has been extended for another final 48 hours. You can see details on your screens right now. Take full advantage of it as soon as you can. There'll be no other offer better than this one. And where we're going, there'll be a lot of sensitive stuff that we can't discuss here on the public channel. Sensitive but very important. That those who want to stay ahead, know what's going to happen next, must know, need to know. Okay? There are some analysts who are saying that this is a clever political strategy to divide the House of Mumbi. Because the people who carried out the raid were clearly members of the House of Mumbi, vast majority of them. In my opinion, that is a dream, a mirage. It is extremely difficult, as history shows us, to divide the House of Mumbi. Many people have tried, even the colonialists, and they all failed. It is impossible. When the community needs to speak, and this is a mystery of the Kikuyu, when the community needs to speak on behalf of the community, they will always speak in one voice. Don't listen to the leading politicians from that region. Like in the days of Moi, we used to have a man called Kamotho. Kamotho, a member of the House of Mumbi, would sing the praises of Moi from morning till evening. Yeah. But the people on the ground, their views were very different from Kamotho's. And therefore maybe somebody from the foreign media listening to Kamotho speak and asking around, huyu anatoka kabila gani, would have gone back to their desk and filed a story that is pure fiction about how the Kikuyus are supporting Moi. It was never there. It never happened. And you can be sure it is the same today. A few people may talk and they may emphasize to you that they hail from the Mount Kenya region. But what you need to do instead is to go on the ground and listen to what people are really saying. Okay? And you'll get an idea. Because the House of Mumbi never revealed their true intentions. Never ever. Until it is too late for you to stop them. That is the truth. Go back in history and do your own investigations. And then get back to me. Yeah? I challenge you to prove me wrong. With an example. Hakuna. Sipoteza wakati wako. And so that point makes very exciting analysis. Very technical analysis. That will excite many people. Will excite the senses. But it is very far from reality. Okay? So that one, weka kando. Na weka kando milele. It can never happen. Now I've done several videos on this channel about this great community of Kenya. And I've explained it has a lot to do with their history. From such a long time ago, from the days of their wars with the Maasai community, the Kikuyu had to survive, yeah, against much stronger opponents. And the way they survived was by sticking together like super glue, yeah, and talking in one voice. So it is in their DNA. You can't remove it. You can't erase it. Okay? And so if that was somebody's plan, I don't think it was. But in case that was somebody's plan, let me tell them for free, it won't work. The only way it can work is if you change the person living in State House, you change him and bring in somebody from the House of Mumbi. Then and only then will these funny things you're doing have any chance of working. I guess we can now bring down our drone. Yeah, we have seen what is ahead on this bumpy road in Kenya at the moment. Oops, the drone was shot down. I forgot. We don't have any drone. Yeah, but we know the exact state of affairs. The state of the nation called Kenya, what it is. It is a battle ongoing between the people of Kenya and the current government. Okay, some would like to say between Raila and the current government. That is not exactly accurate, okay, in my opinion. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.